were, and still playing at the same sort of level. And I feel like maybe GamerLegion doing a little bit of a better job than OG. If OG weren't OG and whatnot, they'd be really struggling, to be honest with you, without their sort of business partnerships, as it were. So yeah, GamerLegion, actually not had a lot of time to watch this newer squad, to be honest with you, Trav. But I think it could be a very interesting one. sAw on the other side of things, though, we all know about them, right? Cologne recently looking absolutely fantastic as we break into the game. Nice and quick, once again.
Yes, sir. And talking of Cologne, well, sAw, they've had some good results on this map in the past, so they really showed up on the big stage on this map. They beat G2 and FaZe on it, and comfortably as well. Absolutely remarkable, right? And sure, maybe FaZe are caught in a bit of a slump. Sure, G2 aren't a consistent force as of yet, and who knows what's going on with that team at any given moment sometimes, but you'd have to favour sAw in this game for obvious reasons. However, this young GamerLegion team I am quite a big fan of, and I've got great pieces which we will continue to discuss later on as this best of 3 will continue. And as the pistol gets underway, it's a bit of a slower pistol. Nice nade, actually, from Roman. And do some damage, but look at the utility GamerLegion still have. Minute to go, they've not used any of it yet. Right-click flash for Roman to peek. Actually works out pretty well, but he's not going to commit to it. And GamerLegion have used all that util pretty well to confirm the sides.
Indeed. Digits being tapped in behind Roman's head. Flammus holding the close angle here. Absolutely needs to find success, and he's unable. Maybe set up to deal with this heavy push in from the church. Oh my god.
Wow.
Andu and Volt mowing them all down. That is pretty incredible scenes, to say the least. As GamerLegion will take the pistol in an instant.
In an instant, indeed. And one of the things that I have noticed with GamerLegion in the games that I've had a chance to watch, did quite a lot of their open qualifier matches, or sorry, closed qualifier matches for the RMR. There are some really good, pure fraggers on the team. That's a really good sign for them. Volt can be a bit on and off sometimes, but when he has his maps, he looks really good. Andu and Flammus are my two men to keep an eye on. I say men, they're pretty much boys still, aren't they? So young, this entire team. But, yeah, I really do like the combination of Andu and Flammus. I feel like Flammus has been super consistent still. And, as we were kind of discussing between the two of us, sometimes even though he came from Namiga lost him. Namiga spawned in some new talent as well. They still qualified for the RMR, so did GamerLegion. So everyone's living large from that little portion of their career, which is great to see for Flammus and for Namiga. And he's going to try and continue that form today, of course. GamerLegion kind of owned Aurora on map 2 in this qualifier to win that game 2-0. Aurora kind of going on and off, of course, with either playing with Clax or Grix right now until they figure things out properly. CZ does get 1 kill, but GamerLegion should be able to take A.
So one thing that really got revealed to me alone is the fact that this guy's called Mutiris.
Yeah.
I feel like my entire life has been a lie, Trav. I've been calling this guy Mutiris since like 2019. Yeah. The benefit of having them on LAN, right? The commentators can obviously just give a quick ask in an interview or whatever just to make sure. So there you go. Mutiris from here on in.
Mutiris, yeah.
Yep, I'm going to have to train the brain on that.
And it's so cool. I mean, like, I mentioned before we got into this first map how both teams are different, stages of their progression. Sure, sAw have their young stars, which have come from FDW in the case of U-Jerks, and Arasdos, of course, really making a huge name for himself on this team. But, the old guard of Mutiris and Roman, and Mutiris has been playing for so long, only just now really getting the success at the big tier events, whereas this GamerLegion team are right at the beginning of their careers with nearly all 5 of them, right? So it is kind of insane, and you almost feel proud of Mutiris, don't you? As a we're both commentators at this level. As you rightly pointed out, we followed them so much, and to see him perform that clutch on Nuke in Cologne, that will never be forgotten by Mutiris or by us, I think.
Career defining.
Yeah,
for sure. There does come a point where you have to realize maybe this is as good as it gets. So you have to take in those moments, and yeah, just brilliant to watch him do that. And I think he'll be so proud. And a performance like that, hopefully, it will spur on a few young guns in the Portuguese scene. Their biggest struggle is the fact that you've got this team. FTW is still sort of around, but not quite delivering, and Rhino as well, right? So there's really not a lot in the Portuguese and even in the Iberian scene where you might be able to just meld together. It's a different language, of course, but I'm sure they could make it work. And there's just not an awful lot there. So a run like that, it can be massive in a number of different ways. To spur on the talent, but also to spur on yourself in tournaments like this. Yeah? Semi-finals at Cologne, beaten FaZe, surely on stage, yep, in the Lanxess, you know, the biggest arena in Counter-Strike. Surely you should be able to make a challenger and have a deep run, maybe win the thing. So, you know, that is both from a analysis standpoint and also from a confidence standpoint for the team themselves. Lovely little pit stack with that. And who knows what's up though. Made from him will be okay. I was going to say will be traded out. It's actually Volt in a panic to try and save his teammate's life. Takes it in the same second. Just Dosh on the other side.
All good. And yeah, it's just it's so cool to see for sAw, and obviously, you know, we all make jokes about it, but you know, certain talent do make jokes about it as well, in maybe ways I can't say on stream. But it's nice to have a team from one country, isn't it? Just to, you know, really bring up a team from a singular region again and see incredible level, incredible form, incredible against the best teams in the world, and it's just something that seems to have gone away, of course, from recent years, with just how many EU mixes there actually are. And you know, talking of EU mixes, one of them I do like quite a lot are GamerLegion, and they deserve to be praised for this start for sure. 3-0 to begin. Pistol, anti-Force Spy, and anti-Eco. And now sAw have to go into round 4 with their full buy instead. Story's got his AWP out. GamerLegion, of course, with that money built up, all utility they could wish to have. They have played quite a lot of Inferno lately. Have GamerLegion as well. 4 maps very recently, all of course over these various tournaments. Beat Aurora on it earlier today. And also beat Bleed and Zero Tenacity. So those are some good teams to beat at this level for this young team.
Really nades down Banana. They'll actually find success for what they are. And do meanwhile, oh, that could have been so large if he followed, right? He's not going to know that that player's spun around, unfortunately, but yeah, that could have been really big. Slend falls to the AWP. Story confident to stick around and go for a little more here. Very difficult now for GamerLegion after losing that player. Flammus super low as well.
Rastos in a pretty good position, playing around the headshot angles on the van is very powerful as a CT. You almost feel like you may be a little bit exposed when you play that far forward in front of Pit, but usually when you've got teammate support, it's a fine angle to play. Volt will show his hand toward top mid. 30 seconds. They've only got 2 smokes and a flash. They're going to try and pop their way out of that. This setup is way too good for sAw. There's just no way you can really penetrate this one, I think. Volt will get the kill, but 4 HP. There's still 2 players here, but Volt knows how paper-thin default box is. He at least gets 1 more kill in return, but the rotation was just so damn fast. And sAw will get off the mark.
Yeah, clean 3v3 there with full HP players, I think, would have been a really big deal, but not how it happens. So let's see here, man. This is a really scary kind of look for GamerLegion with no bomb plant there. Very quickly, they could lose this lead. So they have to defend it. And of course, as they say, this defense is a good offense. It's a very American way of saying it. But
it was.
That's fine.
Very out of character for you.
Well, it's true, mate. It is true. Yeah. I have some choice words about the Yanks. But, you know, I do like the way defense sounds and offense sounds.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned, you know, sAw bringing up players and taking U-Jerks from FTW. I don't really have a team anymore, I don't think. They just kind of exist, I think, so as an org. I'm not sure if they've completely shut down, just don't really have a team. But yeah, Rhino's the main team that interests me for sure, because they have a couple of stars that I like a lot. I think in the future, if you know Materius and Roman do need to be upgraded, and that could be a great place to go. Story, surely he's a dead man here. So much tagging through the corner of the wall there. Means he can't fall back, gets halted, and doesn't get away with anything from this round. Arazos full blind, seeing that from his POV there is pretty rough. Andu will get his entry, but Arazos did respond with that position. So, GamerLegion with 35 seconds deciding on B. And Roman, right now, he's going to need rotations. He's got that quickly from U-Jerks, but he's going to need to deliver.
Yeah, his teammate smoked off, right? Molotov goes down, trying to slow them for a bit. Roman going to lose his head quite fast. He will communicate in, though, that, yeah, Coffins is not smoked. U-Jerks goes round trying to find a trade, stop the bomb plant, something like that, but mega panic. Very, very unfortunate indeed, as it will be GamerLegion right back in with it. So this is looking good here for the T side of things, and very simple round to answer back. Just, as I mentioned, maybe a little unlucky in that previous, where it's like heavy tag. What are you going to do there? They happen. And then, of course, losing one to the orb. So, a tough sort of round, but when it makes a bit more sense, when it's well put together, this is a good-looking GamerLegion right now.
I will very quickly mention, it's obviously on the screen a couple of times, but didn't obviously get a chance to see it in the pre-game, as the games are starting thick and fast today. Just the entire veto. GamerLegion did go into this map, and one of the ones that they do like recently. We know how good sAw have been on it in Cologne, but different environment, different event. Map 2 is sAw's pick. That is ancient, and if we need it, it's a Vertigo decider. And I remember sAw way back when, in the early days of that edition of the roster, and they probably only had Materius and Roman, I would probably say. They were one of the innovators on Vertigo, kind of at the tier 2 level. But very different days these days. And online, they did struggle a little bit in a couple of games post their Cologne heroics. They did, of course, play Gen 1 in this qualifier earlier today. It probably would have been Bait in normal circumstances, of course, because Bait did qualify for the closed qualifier for this event. But, of course, with the main events clashing a little bit, they were made to choose between the closed qualifier of Rio and Atlanta. So they chose Rio. And as such, a replacement team was called up from that open qualifier that Bait made it through. They beat Gen 1, so Gen 1 get the call up. Unfortunately, Gen 1 in the lower bracket now, but did look respectable against sAw in that map too. It was actually a significant recovery. They were, from sAw, they were, I think, 10-7, 10-6 down or something, and they won it 16-14, so still grinding them out. And of course, you might remember this, Scriv, as well, during Cologne, and during a number of other tournaments they were still playing their ESL Challenger League matches in their prac rooms. Just shows you how much they're committed to it.
The grind, baby. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. And one day, it all clicks nicely. And you can just tap back into all those games you played. I mean, ever present on that monitor, on that server, you know, not thinking about where you are and the weight of it all. Materius ready for Volt here. Dangerous angle. Oh my, you're joking. The flash. Not only is it good, it's also so distracting. Great little apartments move there from GamerLegion.
Roman forced to peek, and already Andu is here. And, oh, that's Flamish, I should say. And there's the headshot. Andu already got the first kill. Of course, making his way through. That little pop with the flash. Just the timing doesn't work out for sAw, sure, but nice little protocol from GamerLegion, and you know, we can sing the praises of sAw all we want, but the truth of the matter is, online is different. And there obviously will be a bit of a post-Cologne hangover. And GamerLegion play this map very, very well. And who gets the second? Story's going to try and save the AWP. He will get that kill. But GamerLegion do have a bit of extra money if they want to maybe send 1 or 2 more players on the hunt. I would say they need to keep at least 2 or 3 alive. But we'll have to see. Story has got a long time to have to try and save this AWP. Another very well thought out round from GamerLegion, and as I said, it's the 2 main men that I called out, Flamus and Andu, starting brilliantly.
Fantastic game thus far from GamerLegion, really just rolling through the motions. I think we know this team to be built upon a structure.
In Ash we trust.
See, we've all seen the video. We've all seen the VP overpass round. I'm sure there are many more as well. He is kind of working on just enlightening what it is that a coach does. That's another video that he has sent out into the community. So, yeah, I think because of that, listen, man, this guy has worked with so many different teams and been on GamerLegion for a long time. No used to play for GamerLegion, Trav?
Are we going the way back when route?
Yeah, way back when. Route,
Screaming Existence.
Okay. All right. He's done me there, guys. He has done me there. I wasn't even going to go that far back. Yeah, Keto. Yeah, he played on this team. Spellan. They had like 3 IGLs at one point. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say Mezzi.
Yes, exactly.
But ultimately, the point we have just raised there is the fact that Ash has been through so many different players and teams, and you know, working in an organization like this, it can be tough because one day you're just going to get a phone call or a text or whatever, like, "Listen, man, we got to sell this guy. Someone else wants him, and they're paying decent money, etc., etc." You know, and we're going to give you half the rate that we're getting because we have to function as an organization. So you're going to get essentially half the player in theory. So it can be very tough. You know, shout out Moneyball one time. It's very similar kind of situation for Ash, maybe. But yeah, so I think that he's done a really good job of building up this team and producing a structure that works and a groundwork that is very applicable to newer squads. And it's showing on a map like this, and we mentioned the overpass as well, Trav. That's another map that maybe handed itself to that kind of style and was obviously a pretty big hit for GamerLegion in particular. It was their one merchant map that they had at these sort of tier 1, tier 1.5 events they were still getting invites to because of their ranking.
Yeah.
And with that gone, they have struggled at the higher level.
Indeed. I've done some digging after that conversation. Do you want to know the team that GamerLegion had and who they played against? The first ever Ash map.
Ooh, the first ever Ash map.
Yes.
I think I might have a bit of an idea.
Go on, try it.
Maybe. So I'm saying, because I think they were picked up from Vexed. So I think we got Ash, obviously coaching.
Yeah. First ever Ash GamerLegion map. This roster is just for
Adam.
clarity. Yes, Adam. Yes. Adam 9130. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Mezzi.
Correct.
Okay, ooh, this is where it gets about because they already had players. They already had players.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to say I don't know. We're in a rifle round, so I can't.
Yeah. I'll just quickly say it and we'll concentrate on the round. Rusty, Era, and Zero.
Okay, I maybe could have got like a Rusty, maybe an Era. I remember those guys, but yeah. Zero, not a chance.
We'll come back to this gun round.
Indeed, gun rounds, and it is quick up banana for Flamus. You know, he's trying to get this first frag, desperate for it potentially. Jerks knows. I heard him off the nade land, and he does make sort of a gushing sound. If you're nearby, you can tell that apart. More damage done to the GamerLegion boys as well. So this is the best start that sAw have had for a long while.
Jets will put a few bullets through that smoke. Very, very clean GamerLegion map so far. They've been pathing it really well. Because while we were yapping away, they managed to avoid any of these pistol buys that sAw put into place. Pared their way through those very nicely. This is their first big test in the game, I feel like, and the most important gun round for sAw in it, of course, as well. So sAw have positioned Roman and New Jerks together on B. You're going to see GamerLegion's execute come in here toward this portion of the map. Ujux might have a bit of a sight line in front of that smoke. He does. If he uncrouches, he'll be able to see and help Roman. But with 25 seconds, GamerLegion going to need to get a hurry on at some point. Roman's in a good position. If they go through this smoke, he should have a free 1 or maybe 2. But it's going to wait for it to fade, so he'll fall away. Now 15 seconds, his movement is heard, and now GamerLegion have to push for it, but there's the lineup. Actually do decent work to trade a couple, but ZTR has to commit to a plant on 27 HP, and he is still alive. Hang on. He's protected from CT, but the nade comes through to break it, and ZTR will get caught. Not bad from GamerLegion, considering the time restraints there at the end. And they get a plant, but Story will defuse, and sAw will get their second.
Yeah, better late than never, I suppose. It is, again, similar to that first they grabbed, a case of turning it into more, really. But that is a fantastic round from them. Loads of money available for this sAw team as well. So if they can get this one, keep it clean, then I think they're in a really good spot for the rest of the half. But it is a tough sort of look now for the sAw side, GamerLegion. It can be a blessing in disguise, man. Lose the round, it's a bit tough. You still got 4 in the interim, of course. And if you win this, and then maybe win the next pretty solidly, you could break their bank massively. And yeah, it turns into a really scary half.
And 3 or 4 in Banana, and this time they change it up a little bit. They go faster and a bit drier, and it completely catches off Ujux and Roman. That's just a change of pace and a change of style from GamerLegion after the previous round didn't work, even though they got close. They try something to shock sAw, and it does, and that is a guaranteed 7th round. Goodness me. Great call, great play. And I'll, as Story, Aerosdos, and Materis look to try and save here, I will mention the team that Ash played against, actually, or coached against the first ever time on GamerLegion. It was the Simon Gaming team with Norbert, Nilan, and Kios way back when in 2020. A pretty cool one. And while we're at it, while I was digging through some things, the last ever map that Existence played on GamerLegion was in 2019 with Scream, HS, Nork, and Hampus, who of course are together today on Bleed, those two, up against Optic, which back then were MSL, Config, Refresh, Nico, and Tesses.
What a time to be alive.
I love
that was
historic.
it. They had, I remember I did an event, they had Hampus, Existence, and Spellan all on the same team. They had 3 IGLs on the same team.
You're right. I do remember that, actually.
What is that?
I love Counter-Strike history. Sorry,
yeah,
nerd
no,
emoji,
cool.
nerd emoji, nerd emoji.
Just to kind of... old rosters, though, is one of my favourite things. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Carrigan Envious and all this kind of stuff. Like, it's just so funny when you get reminded of that once in a while. Slemmy on Cloud9. You remember that guy? Who the hell was Slemmy, man?
That's so funny, man.
Who was Slemmy and where's
That
he
was
gone?
so funny.
Not seen him since. You know, like... there's some wild ones in there.
Cost around, Squid, cost around.
Yeah, sorry. Andu. Working his way out here. We're enjoying ourselves on this one. GamerLegion, of course, still enjoying themselves also. Looking to keep it rolling. sAw will manage to work the bank really, really well, actually. So that is commendable in and of itself, but unfortunately the rounds are just not swinging their way.
Story. Peek in mid. Slend waiting on the other side. Slen's progression as a professional player has been fun to watch as well. From Mouse NXT to Endpoint to here. I've been very impressed by him in a number of those lower tier matchups. It's good to see him have an opportunity on a team like this, a young squad around him. And right now they're really giving sAw a bit of a lesson. Ujux will try and reposition. He will get toward the top of first orange. 30 seconds left. GamerLegion are taking the bomb back to A, but it might hinge on whether Andrew can get an entry or not. And he won't. The setup is still really good here. Now the time is a big issue for the T side.
Oh, Story, man. Felt like he was in prime position for that, but it still looks good. And Roscosh in at the pit, loving this flash off the back wall, used it multiple times, and yeah, just no time to get in. Bomb spilled forward. That's the round. Slen trying to bank his save. He will do so. The third round for sAw, still within touching distance of a decent enough half, isn't it, right? 7-5, very, very, very workable. And they could indeed get that. Timeout coming round from GamerLegion, however. They want the 8-4, they want the 9-3, really. 9-3 is a very won the game in the first half type scoreline.
Thankfully for sAw, so much damage was done through that long smoke there, while they were trying to force their way up with such little time on the clock. It was well played by sAw in the end, even though Story did go down to that swing from ZTR. Frustrating map for Story thus far. He's had a few moments like that in that position with the AWP. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, if sAw win this round, they'll be rewarded with, I would say, probably Tech 9s, Mac 10s, maybe one Galil in the next. So 7-5 is very possible, and they're very much in the game. It's very aggressive toward Banana. The flash assist from Story is perfect. And sAw are starting to show a little bit more assertiveness here.
Yep, building up their confidence. It is good to see. And they roll with it in this round, though, is the real question. You jerks. Good angle, just completely overlooked. I mean, it's quite smart, actually. The timing on that's really good. To sort of retake banana smokes that you see so many different lineups for on that B-bomb site. Generally denotes a lack of banana control, but they actually already kind of had top banana control. So, yeah, just a small fake out and a good bit of timing to get that frag.
Yeah, it wasn't straight away, right? Staggered a tiny bit. And good utility usage from sAw. With ZTR on 15 HP. You know what the answer to this round is with how they're positioned. Some fun in the kitchen. I reckon ZTR and Vault could whip up a mean meal between their different countries they've lived in and different teams they've been in and different countries they've been in.
Possible, man. It is possible. I don't know much about cooking mean meals, just simple ones, you know?
I know. I mean, listen,
this is one of the things. Like, I think in the UK we do get a bit of a bad rep. Some of the food is pretty good, but generally on like a pretty bad level. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a lot of really sort of clean, healthy, good cooking. All the stuff that we're known for is actually like really bad for you. But also, like, I don't know. I'm trying to rack my brains here. I think beef Wellington is quite hard. Beyond that, I don't know how challenging other staple meals are. You know?
I know what you mean.
Whereas, like, some of the out there stuff is really quite hard to make.
Yeah, I've watched my fair share of MasterChef, so I know what you mean. Here we go, another aggressive top banana peak for Ujux and Roman. Lots of damage being put through those smokes, but good response. With that damage of their own, Story will try and stand tall once again. He really wants to hold for this one. He sees the tip of the barrel. Have to take at least one shot and fall away. Arrowsdos has support from the balcony position with flashes if necessary. Still two available for him, and Andu tries to go searching for something. Materis will remove it, and even though Slend finds one, it's just before the nade would have removed him. So it keeps it in a 3v4, and if they do go fast back toward B here, they would only be going into one player who is below half health. So this is the right call.
Looking good. Looking very, very good indeed. 40 seconds left to get it done, though. They need to pick up this round and solidify this half. Big kill from Vault. Just That's Roman trying to get a timing spam here. Oh, to be careful, going to get caught reloading. It was either in the front or the back. That's a really big move, really well played. It's risky from Flamis, don't get me wrong, you know, but very well read that maybe the rotations weren't quite in. And of course, catching that player off guard. Story flashes his teammate through, who's going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. The issue here, Trav, Story's got the kit. Story's not got much help. Muteris has just picked one up. He's left all by himself. Regardless, falls down. Could have had that one, but he's just so scared of all these different angles. Too many to check. And that indeed will do the 8th round. Good resurgence from sAw. Will it be enough? We'll find out.
Let it go, 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 let it go. It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life, don't you think? If we go down in history. If we go down in history.
GamerLegion are gaming and a chance to maybe gain a spot at another LAN. ESL Challenger Atlanta is on the line. Just one spot, of course, in this event to get through to the main event. And they've done a good job of pushing sAw back on their T side. That was a really solid half from them. Now on the defense, they have to see if they can close this map out. This is their pick, of course, picking into sAw's Inferno, which is obviously a map they've done incredible work on in Cologne. So this is a great performance thus far. Roman looking for a peek in toward the apps, and Volt will get removed. First piece of the setup has been found.
Andu on the Julies will manage to trade one back. Flamis as well. It seems GamerLegion know their way around the apartments. That's 2 pretty nice rounds to date. Maybe 3 or 4. Also worked in their favor. Either way, the B rush comes round. sAw will find it empty. We'll get the plant down here. still got to deal with the lack of numbers. And the fact that ZTR, he's got a kit. Not something you see super often these days in the CT pistols. So, see what they do with it. Smoke down towards Banana. That'll isolate a player. Going to make life difficult for Materis. No clutches out here for this guy. But he's close to that smoke, so it could get messy. Flend and Andu on the Julie is looking very good. It's going to be Story at the back end of the site. Can't find any heads. Just not quite clean enough on that crosshair. Not going to be the kit defuse. Yeah, ZTR's a little bit like, hey, come on, guy. You would have had it anyway, but, you know, why am I buying the kit if I'm not getting the goddamn defuse? You've already got, like, armor and stuff. But either way, it will be GamerLegion taking the pistol.
That was very well dealt with there by GamerLegion, and even though Roman got that first pick in toward the apartments there, it's that sort of situation where you look at it for sAw and you think, okay, maybe we can take it now. But it's a full setup. It's a full setup, and yeah, it's a really good find by Andu in there again. Andu plays, of course, apps on CT and T on the T defaults, and he made that look really, really clean. As soon as show their hand in that position, they get figured out, try and go elsewhere, but ZTR was ready and raring to go, and the rotation was as well. It's a full force from sAw. We've got 2 MAC-10s and 2 Galils still left up as Ujerks gets found. I will say that this is quite an important force by now, because if they lose it, 10-4, and they'll be on eco, 11-4.
Oof. Andu. Good find. Bolts here for the trades. They are stacked along mid. Should be the double spray down. Yeah, Flammus. In some circles, they might call that baiting. I would call it securing the round. Either way, he gets the double digits. And yeah, a big deal like... Well, indeed. It does. If you are Flammus, it's fair enough, mate. It also depends. If he dies there, it's baiting. If not, it's all good. You know,
yeah.
It's playing the game or something. But baiting's fine. Baiting is fine. Listen, this is a PSA out there.
Okay.
Baiting is okay if you make it work. Sometimes you're going to get baited. Sometimes you're going to do some baiting, right? It depends on the scenario, the situation, the setup. And right there, that's the perfect time to do it. Why the hell would there be 4 mid? You know?
Agree. Actually do agree. These nades keep coming. Ujerks down to 20 off the back of those 2. And of course, it is funny, right? I mean, people might look at this result and say, oh, no, ha ha ha, sAw, they did so well at Cologne. They beat G2 and FaZe on this map, but they're losing to GamerLegion, ha ha ha. That's just, like, the community will always be like that, but that is just the pure state of Counter-Strike right now. Like, so many teams can beat everyone, especially on like a singular map in a different qualifier, in a different environment. They have these different setups, they have these different ideas. GamerLegion are a well-drilled roster, well-drilled team with young talents who will make a name for themselves in the future and will continue to do so right here. It's like, people might laugh at it, but the fact of the matter is that GamerLegion, they're not a bad team, and they have a great setup behind them to give them success in the future. And right here, right now, 11-4 is confirmed. Like I said, sAw have to come back the long way.
You will die for sAw very quickly here on this map, it feels like. Really quite surprising. It has been this quick, you know. Inferno was one of the games in the famous stage game. And it's a decent enough map for sAw. I understand what you're saying. I understand the grind, the GamerLegion grind, but I expect a bit more out of sAw on Inferno here.
For sure. Definitely more than 4, I do agree. But, it's just kind of making the point of not everyone, but a lot of teams can beat a lot of teams on their day. It's as simple as that.
Sure.
And this round's kind of over. So, sAw have just managed to get that opening kill thanks to Ujerks' position near half wall. And even though damage has been done, if both those 2 kills had come through on the trade, then perhaps it would be a different setup here for GamerLegion. But that's not the reality or universe we're living in. They're going to save. Slend, of course, can drop his MP9 if he really wants to, and then buy up the AWP. They've got plenty of options with this 4-man save, and they know that sAw won't be hunting too much in a round like this because they've got to prioritise their own money.
Yes, for sure. I think GamerLegion maybe know that or respect that. At the very least, they had the gamble set up. So, Inferno, in a world full of quick maps at the moment, this is sticking out like a bit of a sore thumb time to time.
Very true.
Even this one, 11-5, feels like it has been somewhat of a drag. Some nice rounds in there, but yeah, some really, really slow finishes to the round is the thing. You just want to get into the next one, see what happens, see where the early fights pan out.
Ancient and Vertigo will be quite different, I feel.
For sure. That is true. So, keep awake for this one, guys. And the next two will be explosive. I think that Ancient in particular is going to turn some heads. We shall see. We shall see. So, could you argue a risk going towards it? Away. Into the next. Flamus going to eat some nades. So, sAw continue their strong starts.
I'd definitely choose Inferno to probably go at this point. I even like Dust 2 now. I think it's quite fun to watch, actually, at the top level, Dust 2. Which is a shock, considering how much I hated it back in Go at the end of its reign. But there we are. Inferno sometimes can look a bit like this, but maybe it all comes down to when and where for some of those really exciting close rounds that can go back and forth. Andu, Incendiary down in mid, repositioning with the MP9, probably the best spot for it, but he's now known about. Andu has only got the Deagle out. This is going to be rough for him. How does he get away? Nade is good, actually removes U-Jerks, and sAw will try and trample their way onto the site. Roman still has got him locked in there. That nade might finish him. Oh, so close. Actually doesn't do maximum damage. Story on the site itself. We will find one more kill, but Slender's going to catch him as soon as he pops his head up. So it's down to Materis. Now 1v3 it would be total. 2 more to find.
Controlling the chaos is what that was all about, I think. Materis trying to find the bomb. The AWP shot does miss. Oh. And he had a chance to move across. Took NTR a sec to get that kill. It can take, well, milliseconds to find frags. Absolutely
what
insane.
What
do you say? Milliseconds. I understand. Yeah, I shouldn't have forced that one so hard. Either way, GamerLegion will move up to 12. A very, very chaotic round there, Trav, to say the least.
Yeah, that was... Materis was still convinced for a split second there that the pit player was still alive, right? You can very clear miscommunication on sAw at the end of that round, right? And that kind of what caught them off guard in the long run, by the looks of it. With the madness, with the A-take, just back and forth behind smokes, don't know who they've killed. Sometimes that can be the big factor with the communication. Send on a weird angle with the AWP. It's one we can see played every so often. You've got to react quickly to those. Thankfully for his sake, he does. Arasdos down. GamerLegion just 4 kills away. 3 kills away from taking their map pick.
Nice banger from U-Jerks. Over on the other side of things, he thought maybe it would be a solo venture again, but no, not the case. Story and Roman to save it here, just trying to quickly barrel on in, catch this one player while he's alone and not got mates to work with, but Flamus plays really well here. Giving them full respect. Takes a well-timed peek, drops the bomb, confirms the location of it, and of course, the final player. So, not looking great. Story's only way out really feels like through Banana. Easier said than done. And will be traded instantaneously. GamerLegion with somewhat of a masterclass, right? It is so drawn out. A war of attrition against sAw there. And again, listen, man, as we touched on, there was the famous game, right? They beat FaZe on this map, on stage, in the Lanxess. They also beat G2 at Cologne as well on Inferno. So I think there's a fair bit of tape to work
a fullback, yeah, especially with Snacks. They kind of relied on Overpass a lot to be relevant, I feel like, with the newer additions of their roster. So, yeah, it's with Overpass gone, they need to try and innovate elsewhere. And right now, Ancient is not that map for them. That is, as a reason sort of picked this, even though it's a middling map for them, they've picked into the direct weakness.
One of the great things, though, I think that maybe GamerLegion have got for them on the mental, it's a bit of a weak argument to be fair, but they don't have too much to lose with this map, so they really can experiment around and maybe have a bit of fun with it and just see how they feel. It is one of those as well where GamerLegion, their advantage at this level is the fact that they do play every single map. So your pool will be endlessly improving, endlessly getting officials in. Andu to find the first head. Pistol start would be absolutely brilliant for them. Story really struggling. Gap going to close onto him. There's not much help from Roman, unfortunately. He backs off, and I think, yeah, the majority of the team has been spotted there. Andu with the lurk out here. It's not even a commitment to A. They're going to draw back and go B in this 5-on-2 that was indeed a little short-lived. ZCR with the drive-by. This could also be it, Trav. Our GamerLegion just dialed in, where sAw are still reeling from the adrenaline of the arena.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder. Andy will then go in for his triple, if I'm not mistaken. If my memory serves me correctly, he also got a triple in the first pistol of the first map as well. He is one of the players that I've been keeping a very close eye on ever since he was in GamerLegion Academy and ever since he stood in for one of those events for GamerLegion. I think when there were some visa issues involved for a previous event. I thought that he was definitely one for the future. It was only a matter of time before he got onto the main team full-time. That is the case now. Got Flamus from Namiga, who is unbelievable for that stint on that team. ZTR did great work with Medisport before somehow, and for some reason, Medisport decided to move away from him. All the pieces are here, but not on this map yet. This would be a turn up for the books, actually, if they were able to find a win. To be fair, against most teams on this map, because it's just so unplayed for them. And 2 rounds in the last 2 times they played it over the last 2.5 months is not a good anything. So this is a start for them here.
Boost up there for Slen to try and eliminate the first player. It's a little messy, but they work their way in. Still got materials of default. Could be problematic. Nade does very large damage. Flamus to find another, but you can see sAw awakening a little here. UMP retrieved. ZCR with the bait run, and yeah, very well played from Slen there to just know what's up, know what's likely in a round like this. They are going to take those kinds of risks. So Story is left on the other side, but there is a gift bestowed by the fallen GamerLegion players, and it is that AK.
Will he be able to keep it, is the question. Slender's closest, I guess, sort of. But toward Donut will be where he will stay. GamerLegion are spread out to look for this, and Andu is being the highest health player, might go searching. Story is looking the wrong way, I'm afraid. So it's a 5-0 start for Andu, and a 2-0 start for GamerLegion. Look at that, they've already equaled their best result in the last 2 times they've played this map. Incredible scenes. Long way to go, though. sAw need to get guns out first. And this won't be the round where they do it.
Early nade. Not going to find anything. Nades on B. Maybe they have some more success. But there's nobody here. They held on to them, though. I do like the idea, right? Just in C, get a sound cue. So this could result in a frag. I don't know if that Molly's meant to do that.
No.
Okay, thank you, Trav. Yeah. Not going to be an issue, though, really. Still got these nades, mate. Where are they going?
Now. So 2 of them now. Okay. Not as much as I'd hoped, I'll be real.
Yeah. You know, we were talking about damp squibs earlier. I think that's the definition, isn't it, really?
Yeah. You just can't throw them at an angle from way back in CT there that bounce enough of an angle off the temple wall to get the cubby, get the very corner of it. So it chips him down to 37, but it stays alive. Gotta get those geometry lessons in play, haven't you? Need some pool and snooker players in here. Understand how they bounce off cushions. There's nades. But we'll manage to get away. 3-0 GamerLegion, and they're going to go speedy because, of course, they still have the UMP and Mac 10 in play, and it's going to get unceremoniously deleted by Jerks and Roman. Site partners on Inferno, site partners on Ancient. Slend will manage to nab one back in return, and it makes the round interesting at least in a 2v3.
Slow rotate back around here for GamerLegion, just trying not to give any noise cues away as best they possibly can. Could really work out. The bomb site remains dormant. So should be able to find the bomb plant as time goes on. Yeah, I think Story is starting to get a sense of it. Not going to be as easy as first thought, but still the AWP is escapable if they respect him. They've got Molotovs as well to just obscure his vision. ZTR going up, checking all the angles, not going to be anyone around. It does, however, allow an easier spot for utility usage. Flashes come in, cross comes round, Story misses his shot. Just has to be careful with the repeat here, so they'll get that bomb down. In the meantime, a lot of options available. Quick move up here for ZTR, and then it is going to be down to Slend to play that bomb. This is about to be very large, Trav.
I have a feeling, because there's no kit, they're going to have to make sure they deal with this one cleanly. They've got utility to force their way into a donut. ZTR still here, could be a big factor. It could still be a big factor. They're so low. It's a two-man spray down. He's looking for one more, but Jerks will trade it. Even a graffiti on the wall in the midst of his clutch there from ZTR. That was extra cheeky. Surely that was a misclick. Who knows? I think maybe he's just that guy. But this time, Jerks will trade it. And managed to keep the AWP as well. Saw off the mark, but good damage from GamerLegion. Just one player staying alive means they've got so much money still to use and to keep the pressure up.
Okay, game on our hands potentially. This GamerLegion. This is the true test, isn't it? Got to be able to bounce back off of that if they are to keep the hopes alive on this map and to just keep the confidence rolling. I think as soon as it starts getting difficult, they're really going to struggle. What is the game plan? Really well placed utility, not a lot used early. Jerks going down. It's a timing. Super cheeky contact. There's nobody else around, man. Nobody else around to trade. Just a few little things like that bomb dropping back. I understand that, you know, Volt needed to maybe deal with the ramp angle, but you've already got a guy in lane. Maybe just try and brute force and join him, you know? Isolating themselves, almost.
Oh, Materis v Flammus. Camarel won't be sticking out at any point here for Materis, but if he moves forward, Flammus would get the drop on him. With the standoff in that position, and exactly as I thought, Flammus will deal with the kill. Deal with the leader of sAw. That's going to force Roman to push down the B ramp once again. Volt still waiting, but gets caught jiggling a little bit. And not good timing on that one for Volt. Jerks forces his way forward. No bullets, though. He's a dead man, and Slend will respond. But 2v3, 30 seconds. Look where the bomb is. How do they find it in time? They might have to try and win this round via elimination, because Slend has found Roman, and Flammus is already on the site itself. There's another headshot. It's all Story, and he finds the trade. It's now Slend to try and win it out with 19 seconds to get onto the site and plant this bomb. Story on the angle. AWP is what he wants in this position, and he hits the all-important shot. That could be huge for sAw. It's 2 rounds in a row they survive with one player alive, but the fact they won it is all that matters.
Bruv, he's got 2 flashes, Trav. Why is he not flashing the angle that he already knew where he was at? I don't know. That feels like a bit of an oversight. Maybe there is low time or whatever, but like just cob a flash to where you have. Well, you basically confirmed, like, he's not slant because you didn't see him. So just flash short. I don't understand. But you know, tough in the 1v1. I think for me, maybe an oversight there.
Yeah.
Versus 1. Definitely should have been able to work that out. You figure it's just Trade City, but Slend is a little lackadaisical.
Yeah, it's like you thought maybe a teammate. It's always a classic thing, isn't it? Like, don't speak when you're dead, and you want to let your teammate concentrate on his clutch. But it's like you could just say 2 flashes, you know, very quickly, especially as they know it's the AWP. But yeah, I agree. Time was low. I guess he was feeling hurried to jump over. Decided to take the gamble. And maybe 1 bullet connected anywhere onto a story would have been enough. So, important one to take. ZTR had a big bank of money to use. That's why they still have a buy in this round, GamerLegion. But of course, sAw still reeling from all of those close rounds. So, 3 MP9s in this one, and they've already lost Materis. That's unfortunate for him. Dink on Ujex too. Even from that range from Volt, that's an impactful bit of damage. Send will get tapped down though. Ujex still fighting for it, impressively so. He's got support from Story and Donut to push forward and help here. There we go. Another kill in return. They're going to pounce together. Aronsdos holds W with his SMG, and they're recovering it somehow.
Andu, all alone as he tried to make a bit of room on B. Unfortunately, got no teammates to help him here. Spam could have worked at range, but he sort of missed the opportunity, I think. Not really going to do much damage unless they are right on the other side of it. Either way, he's revealed himself fully. He's got an AWP to get past. He knew the angle, just not fast enough.
sAw feel like they're in the game now for pretty much the first time, I would say. Because they're going to be in the lead after this, unless something crazy happens. Deep mid control. Get the incendiaries down, get the smokes down, go for some peeks from Shelf up toward the B lane. I feel like you have over half the map when you do that. Volt has a flash and a smoke. It's going to have to be the best flash ever to find a way to get more than a couple of kills in this round, you would think.
Just keeping it quiet, really. The old timeout without a timeout.
Yes, sir.
Talking things over. Well, the next round, Materis has managed to find 2 on the death of that smoke before another gets replenished. So, really nice touch. Here's the footsteps of a few more. They will be left to back away. So, GamerLegion looking a bit tough for them, of course, here. Still got that smoke and a flash. Maybe try and give it a go, but they've fully lost lane control. There's no way of getting in there.
After the damage and struggle for sAw to win those opening 2 rounds of this map for them, 1 player surviving in both. This is going to be a nice little settler.
Alright, what are we thinking here? What are we thinking? Is there a change up for GamerLegion? I think we've seen a lot of very similar sort of defaults trying to end A quite a lot. It's just not really been working for them. sAw really good on the lane control the past couple rifle rounds we've seen from them.
Yeah. A couple of things for GamerLegion that you don't obviously put into place on team side very often on this map is just they've done it once with their low buy, of course, and they still have the Mac 10 and the UMP just fast toward B. You can go fast mid as well. You can go maybe late flashes in mid to try and recover these situations. That's a huge headshot from Slend. But again, it's one of these mid collapses. Second time we've seen this. Story's nade will work out. Materis is not expected in Donut where he is. Flamus may be thinking he has to go for something like that when it's in a 2v3. Try and get map control somewhere. And Volt's managed to path his way on toward B, but he's going to have to clear a few of these angles. And the long-term clutch plan might not be too easy. Orp just gives that a quick glance. If Story gets the right timing, could catch him. Volt actually going all the way round here. It would be unfortunate for Volt if he was to get caught by Story. And there we go, there's the intel. And Volt, little did he know, he could have planted toward that B site. He still can, but now the big flank of U-Jerks might be there to take him down as soon as he commits to it. He's convinced there could be a player close here, Volt, but being fake. There it is. There's the kill. Now he can commit to it. He knows where the AWP was coming from. Materis is now next to Story on this retake. Big swing. A couple of steps to get close to the wall. Story doesn't think he's made his way anywhere near that position. And Volt gets a second. It's now all down to Materis, but he's waited so long, Materis to peek. Volt thinks he's coming from elsewhere. So near, but yet so far again for GamerLegion.
That is tough. That is really, really tough. Yeah, they just got to catch a bit of a break here on the T side to get a good, clean round. It does end up being very costly, is maybe the big thing. Okay, and they've got loss bonus. They've got a plant there. They can continue buying, continue the pressure. So they could, with a win here, benefit a couple rounds, in fact. Force a save out early, maybe, right? So there's a few more options available to GamerLegion now, thanks to how close that one came. That's got to be your positive outlook on that round there, Trav.
It has to be. It has to be. But also, maybe in the back of your mind, you'd be thinking, oh my god, we've fought 3 rounds in this half down to a 1v1. We could be up, maths, hang on, 6-2 right now. But we're not, thanks to 3 rounds that were
good job
on the on the knife edge. So yeah, it's painful, but they know they've found ways in. Find a way to make it a little bit cleaner this time. And I mentioned fast site plays. Looks like they could decide for something toward A this time. The site very much leans itself to those sort of quick ideas, but this time they have to be patient. Slend can't afford an AWP, so he's got a Krieg out. What year is it?
Yeah, man. That is kind of crazy to see. It's been a while, bro. It's been a real while since I've seen a Krieg, I'm not going to lie. Which does feel sort of strange to say that it doesn't really have any place. The AUG is a little more common on certain maps, but yeah, the Krieg is just very rare. And maybe there is a reason for that. Or else
Fire
Bosch has
rate,
flattened him.
for sure.
Yeah, it's got to be. And Slend sort of showing that as he will be the first to fall, in fact. He was like, let me contact. I'm cooking something, guys. I got the scope. I can contact like an AWP. And he died. So, no more Krieg.
Good clear of Donut, though. This will go down. Arostos was 21 HP from the damage Slend did, so 2 quick kills. They'd just bided their time slightly, their GamerLegion. It made sAw guess, but Story, he knew exactly what was going on. He didn't need to guess. Good damage on you. You jerks through the box, though. ZTR finding Roman is going to be so difficult. Flash is so good, though. It's so good, but you jerks can't complete it. And Volt swings for the next on 13 HP. GamerLegion will squeak it over the line.
Just about. Only just. They finally catch their break, sir. That's what we were talking about. Give them a bit of luck, and they will indeed find it. And, as I mentioned, because of how close that clutch comes, they are able to bring the sAw economy down. It's not quite broken just yet. 2 MP9s could be the difference maker. Smelting there. Down to 40 HP. Oh, yes. Oh, no. Grit to great, man. That's unfortunate. Unlucky for Story on the second, but they'll take the first.
Lucky. It is what it is. GamerLegion seem to be very set in their way of choosing this style. Over both maps, right? It's not been really as explosive. If it's explosive, it's been late round or mid round, not early round. It's been a particularly slow style, and it's been pretty effective. Map 1 especially. This map, as we said, comes so close to maybe making this super, super comfortable. But look at this read by U-Jerks. Look at this read. He's going to be behind 3 players. When does he choose to pull the trigger, though? Oh, this is so tough to call, isn't it? They just have no idea that he's so close behind. But with an MP9, how many can you really get? The AWP in position. There's one, and thankfully, Arosdos was ready anyway. We're actually... Who would have thought we were watching the wrong player there? It's Arosdos who gets all 3 on the MP9 to finish it off.
Okay, that's tough for GamerLegion. An immediate slammage. Yeah, timeout coming in. Maybe could have done with this ever so slightly earlier. They needed to make sure they were recovering this half. And that was the key round to do it in. A little bit of a toughie. All the same. This is what we live for. GamerLegion. Will this timeout give them the 5 and the illustrious 6 that I think they will want from this T side of things? It feels a bit even at the moment, this map, but maybe as a team they're preferring a stronger CT side.
We shall see. GamerLegion, at least very much better performance in their last couple of attempts on this map, it has to be said. So, there's progress here. As I mentioned in the pre-game, it's something we need to see from this GamerLegion team for them to increase their map pool, increase their prowess across more than a few expert maps that they have. ZTR and Ash will be the main 2 men to help with that for sure. GamerLegion in this round. sAw know they've got control toward red. Roman's been in this position before alongside Materis, but now they're close. Pistol will be removed, and there goes Roman. Big damage to Andu and Slendo. Story will be, of course, there to help out. They're trying to jump across the AWP angle. The Stories are dealing with it all. UJX is then there to help out. So this round is going as we thought. GamerLegion's big buy for round 12 to try and get a 7-5 is coming up next.
And it feels like they absolutely have to, you know. It's been a really, really tough half, so to give themselves a good send-off, to give themselves a clean finish would be really, really nice, you know. Great for the mental, I think. And, of course, after a timeout as well. So there's many, many factors in play here. Early utility out. Making a bit of presence towards B. And there's not really going to be too much of it, actually. Tiny, tiny nades here to try and do some damage. But not an awful lot. It's that kill that's big. Story will take Flammus. All of a sudden, we worry for GamerLegion.
Might have to be Andu again. All these explosive entries, all these jiggling it. Andu looking to get the entry, but has to be a trade by Volt. And with Roman still here, even though he's here, by that bit of utility that was thrown, try and position himself in this after plant a little bit differently. Look at Volt, he's trying to get some space, but Story's already peeked past the angle. Roman will finally be removed, but there's a nade to break the smoke, and it works for Arosdos really nicely. Down to ZTR, information on 1, finishes off the low HP. Now trying to get behind the wall to just maybe have a chance up against Story, but not allowed to. And sAw are working their way back into this series. 8-4 CT half. See you in a couple of minutes.
one night together. Baby, take me higher. You've taken all my love. I just want to feel your touch, yeah. Oh, it's one night together. Baby, take me higher. Oh, it's one night together. I can feel the fire. Oh, it's one night together. Baby, take me higher. You're taking all my love. I just wanna feel your touch. Oh, it's one night together. I can feel the fire. One night together, I can feel the fire. One night together, baby, take me higher. You've taken all my love. I just want to feel your touch, yeah. Oh, it's one night together, baby, take me higher. Oh, it's one night together. I can feel the fire. Oh, it's one night together. Baby, take me higher. You're taking all my love. I just wanna feel your touch. Oh, it's one night together. I can feel the fire.
Welcome back, one and all. What a fantastic half there from GamerLegion. A lot of it not really on them, though. Some tough rounds to be on the end of. We'll see if they can bounce back into the second half. 4 out on B early, Trav. Neglecting middle. Again, this may come from the research and the homework. You can see sAw have got a mid-smoke down. So what's the point in playing anyone there? Because you can't see anything anyway. They'll start to pull away as there's not that much B presence going down. Flamus watching for the lurk. Roman, does get his. And his support is there. The crunch is effective. The pincer is effective. A creep through middle, successful. Down to ZTR and Flamus here. So there was a bit of a read, but some changes in it from what GamerLegion have seen. And in the same vein, just that one little change in the way that, you know, you're playing the off angle makes all the difference from Roman. Nice shot from ZTR to kick off the retake here, though. And it is sort of directly a 2v2. He could smoke the bomb as well while they're distracted away and try and get the defuse in. Didn't quite know how good he had it for just a second there. Could still go for this. Molotov spreading out. Getting a little crazy. Feels like he needs one more. Not going to happen. And sAw take it.
How's that Molotov ticking?
They're a bit funky, mate. They're
ZTR
a bit funky, yeah.
with that
I think
smoke
it's all
in position.
to do with the percentage of the molly that would be in the smoke, and if that's
Okay.
more than, do you know what I mean? Based on like where it's
No, I
thrown.
know. I know what you're saying. I'm
So-
just, if I'm ZTR there, I'm annoyed. That's for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, he's not obviously long shot. He's going to win the round, but you know, one of those annoying things.
Then you
that-
just smoke the bomb and get on it, mate.
Just launch yourself on it. Yeah, position yourself
Yeah.
weirdly in the smoke and see what happens. I would say.
Yeah.
Full eco though. Look at this stack. We see a number of stacks like this over the years that somehow find a way to win a round. There's a couple of those ones that you have the tower stacking, of course. You know, old bot on trains, one of the main ones that had some success in the past. Ones on the back of the Inferno B site, in pool perhaps as well. Overpass, they used to have that one next to the connector, which was always pretty fun. Roman will get his eco frags on this occasion, though. 10-4. It looks like we could be heading toward that third map decider. We've had one of those already today on the B stream. I would say this series would deserve that decider. Vertigo would be a bit of a weird decider, I feel like, between these two, because we haven't seen much from GamerLegion on the current edition of Vertigo at all. So, can't wait to see how that pans out if we do get there. First, GamerLegion's guns. Time to do something with them.
Yeah, man. A bit more pace in this. So much utility, man. Look at how much fire there is on the map there. About 10 to 12 seconds. Roman gets caught. U-Jerks has caught Andu. Oh, ZTR does have the support, thank goodness, but it's a mess. Again, not looking great. This one felt like it was maybe in their lap. Not perfect, but could have been better than that. Flammus. They know he's around. Rostos trying to make the noise. The flash pretty good. Story. Oh my god, this is a mess. Is that a step there? I think it is indeed. Yeah, really well hidden. Story finds the final two. And GamerLegion just can't match up, can they? This is not their map. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's just that. Like, Inferno was so impressive because the game plan was really set and you could really see what they were going for. You could look at the first half of GamerLegion and say, oh, you know, so near but yet so far. 3 separate rounds that end in 1v1s that they all lose. So, you know, we could be in a close matchup right now if those went the other way. We've totally changed the path of the half. But, at least right now, so I'm going to get their reward of the third map. Volt XM in position. How many does he get? He gets one, only one. Can hit the headshot on the second, and the damage from Flammus is not enough to remove Arasdos from the round. The Sweet Rice might be looking to try and taste some of map 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It feels like that's where we're going to end up. But maybe GamerLegion have got something different to say. First kill around. Before I even finish getting the hopeful words out, they will lose another. They've got no kit. MP9 does get one. Tap onto the bomb. Try and draw them out. You're going to have to go for a 10-second hold here, though, to be honest. Mutiris in a really good spot to defend this bomb at the end of the day. They've got to know by now that you're not on it. 10-second timer goes. Kills are good, but you need the rounds, guys.
If this was a close game, then it would be like, okay, well, send. Great. Like, you actually managed to path your way out, even though the round was close. Like, sure, it's a loss, but it's okay. I found the AWP, but they're just too far behind. They're just too far behind. And the reading doesn't make for good reading for GamerLegion on this map. It would be a total of just 6 rounds across 3 separate attempts on this one in recent times of their last 3. And just looking at it, it's like, it's a worry. It's a worry that Ancient is one of the most popular maps in the pool right now, played by so many. It's not your permaban, and you're struggling this much on it. It's definitely a pick where you can expose GamerLegion at the moment.
Here we go, then. Last chance saloon. Give us a bit of something to write home about. Set to be another B hit. Andu just about makes it away, man. That could have been dangerous. Nade will do a fair bit to him. Oh, yikes. On top of each other there. ZTR gets the double spray down because of it. Surely you have to confirm this round. Story looking for this cave player. Where is he at? Story not checking his angles. And he will be punished for it. Down to just Roman. All of a sudden, got that bomb. That's about all he's got going for him. Slowly begin to flank him out. Any damage going to be good there at the tail end just to keep the fear of God in GamerLegion. But they've got 7 more to go, Trav.
Nice quad kill from ZTR there, has to be said. Give him the props for that one. Played it really well. Good angles held. Thankfully helped by the timings that sAw walked at him. But still, gotta hit the shots. sAw, another opportunity. They're actually going to go for the full buy here with 2 Galils, an AK, 2 Tech 9s. Those rounds that GamerLegion could find a way to find a way to lose. But if not, then we could be in for 12-7, turning into 12-8. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Nade being primed by Roman. A right-click nade into that smoke. It's maybe not as deep as they would have wanted, though, so it doesn't reveal as much. And ZTR will get caught by that Tech 9. Arazos' Galil finds Volt in mid. And that gives him a man advantage. 4v3. Roman looking like he's actually backing toward Jag, and Slender's missed a big shot. And Flammus will get found. That is the beginning of the end.
Looks like it. Andu and Slend, the new additions, they've got to save the game. Nice pickup from Slend. He knows something's got to happen here. Digging in for some information. Smoked off, so he is losing information, in fact. Meanwhile, the bomb is going down. He's got no idea. He will indeed fall. Andu is alone against 3. What can he do for us here? Smoke's still there. Gives his position away ever so slightly, so they know that he's at the very least coming in from one of 2 places. Not going to be main. They can write that off. Hardly any time. Does have a smoke. Places it on the bomb. Oh, yeah. Just nothing happening for this guy here. There's a big old gap on the edge of that smoke as well. He will indeed go down. And just nothing coming for GamerLegion there. Getting a taste of their own medicine, really, as it flips over Trav. It does indeed feel like. So, as expected, third map going to be required here. It's another toughie for GamerLegion, though, man. Vertigo. I don't know.
I don't know either. And I really don't know about their Ancient. As I said...
Hello, everybody. Welcome into Vertigo here. This is where our upper bracket semi is going to get finished. And as we've said, a tough ride for GamerLegion on the cards. Looked flat on Ancient. Looked like they didn't want to be there. Hopefully this one has had a bit more work done to it. And again, as you were saying, Trav, playing all the maps, you've got to shore up your map pool. And yeah, there's a couple pain points for GamerLegion, and it kind of means if you don't shore it up, you're going to come up against a couple teams where they just beat you in the veto, right? Before you even really get into game. So hopefully there has been some work done here on Vertigo.
Let's see. Arazos is ready to burst in with the help of that mid split, but it's Roman to actually kick it off. Andy will go down. ZTR will do well to respond, and good damage by Slend. To be fair, Arazos and Materis. Okay, I'm going to try and play either side of Gen. In a 4v3, you'd think they have this one under lock and key. ZTR does not have that kick this time, but it's all falling apart. Flammus with 2. Make it 3. ZTR picks to the last, and that is some retake.
Well, well, well. Lovely look in from GamerLegion. And maybe we are kicking off for a fantastic map here. Time is indeed going to tell. But a good start. A very, very good start indeed. With the plant coming in, though, Trav, it does mean that we see sAw return on the buy. Loads of Galils out. And then that Mac 10 for utility. So this sort of screams of a late round B burst, really. Try and draw some attention towards ramp. Don't really want to lose a player. And then, yeah, give it a good look towards B at the end.
I often see the second round force buy look like this anymore. 4 Galils is a big one. They all got some damage done, and a little bit of kill reward means they can afford it. It's low on util, but they can of course take ramp like this. Dink will come through for Flammus. Oh, it's so awkward though. They're all so low. Arazos doesn't want to swing wildly just yet because of course that new elevated position. Oh, Flammus tries to do some work and gets taken down, but hang on, there is still something to worry about here. There's a double stack player, and Volt has a gap on the Ellie smoke. That's huge. Andu then pounces on toward you, Jerks, and although the bomb is down, Materis and Roman have work to do.
Still doable from here, though. Keep your eyes on Materis with this. Galil, of course, got range on the MP9s, got damage for the low HP player. Get a smoke down here and try and get a tap on. They're distracted away. Andu, oh, he spots the back end of run. It doesn't quite find him, and that allows him to stay standing, but looks good. Oh, that's close. That is awfully close. I think Volt has just got it, but they really are unsure. In the smoke, hard to find it. Looks good, but it's about as close as it comes, Crab.
Spooky, but well done to GamerLegion. That was that was out of hand, and then they got the hand back again. Incredibly impressive considering the situation they were in, and yeah, the fact that Volt had that timing and that gap in the smoke next to elevator just to deny the bomb plant. That's why people say there's no default plant on Vertigo A site anymore. That's why people are just plainly going B more often than they're going A these days, it feels like. It's not Go A Simulator anymore, this map, like it used to be. And they managed to all pounce together. When I saw that there was another GamerLegion member, I think it was Andu as well, who was just sat on double stack, waiting to pounce on a timing. I hadn't cleared that out yet, even though they had a player walking round the railings, of course, on the catwalk on the outskirts of the map. Didn't spot it and got caught off. Saw go straight back in for the 5 Galils. Why not, when they know GamerLegion's money is not built up yet.
Pick up on the legs of a Rozdosh there. Start for GamerLegion. Really good start indeed. However, they put a lot of resources into B, a lot of bodies into B. And a contact A finds success. Flammus gives his life. Really not respecting how close up they could be. Very well read from sAw. Might just be a save out from GamerLegion here, actually.
Giving it a sniff, I will say. NTR does have a smoke and a kit, but those 2 kills will just cancel it straight away. Poor old Andu is lost in the smoke, and Sven might not even be able to get away with the AWP. That's a bit of a mistake there from GamerLegion. I think they probably, easy with hindsight, we're all experts after the event has happened. But, even in a 4v4, and how much I want to see teams go for retakes, how much I want to see an exciting game, that one didn't seem that smart to go for with how much they were locked out.
Early attempt here. Not much showing though for sAw. Roman. Okay, it was actually Mutiris out towards middle. The hood not quite catching up, but he will go down regardless. Bomb site this time is vulnerable. That's a big one from Volt. Lovely and confident with his newfound Galil. Nearly gets another. Might have bitten off a bit too much here on the GamerLegion side of things. I'm going to go down. Where do we go from here? They do have a few nades available. That Molotov in particular, really, really key. Hit in particular, really, really key. So I still like their chances on this retake here, Trav.
Yeah, that's
lovely and confident with his newfound Galil. Nearly gets another. Might have bitten off a bit too much here on the GamerLegion side of things. I'm going to go down. Where do we go from here? They do have a few nades available. That Molotov in particular, really, really key. Hit in particular, really, really key. So I still like their chances on this retake here, Trav.
Yeah, there's a world. This could work. Story's 11 HP. And Ujux is continuing to play a very aggressive advanced angle, but this might just work completely. I'm pretty sure Flammus might have been in the process of falling off the building there, but got killed anyway. With the tagging, of course. Tried to make the jump around the edge. Doesn't make it happen. And ZTR is just going to have to decide to save now. Slam can at least launch his way in and nab the AK, but sAw will fight their way toward a second round. Equal it up once again. That is always very awkward. It's almost I think Flammus will be thanking his lucky stars perhaps there that he actually did get killed straight up, because the tagging definitely caused him to fall off the building, I'm pretty sure. Saw like his feet miss the ledge. We've all been there at least once.
We haven't been in this, and it's a tough place to be. to say the least. Okay. M4 and AK looking to get into the action. ZTR was boosted up, hoping maybe for the contact play again, but it looks more like utility base. Slow build up again. As the CT side. Trying to just bait them into these rifles. Could be a nice setup on B. Maybe need to start thinking about stacking something out. Maybe send a player in to dig for some info. Tough kind of round here. That's a knee spotted. I think Roman might just have seen him, but weary of something else coming his way. Kills roll in here. The AK good for one, but that's all. The M4 may as well just hold what he has, but it is also an M4. You can buy that up in the next round. Why not do some damage on the way out? You never know what might go your way. Aggressive swing from Rosdos. He makes it work.
Yeah, lovely quad kill from Rosdos. That's so good to see him when he's in that, as you coined it earlier, flow state. It's very nice to see when players like he and you jerks look so solid. Quick 3-round rebuttal from sAw. Kind of funny to see the scorelines in the top right of your screen right now. 13-5, 13-5. It's like someone just copy-pasted it. But now we need to see someone step up and deliver in this decider. Bounce Molly. Flatmas does get his 2 in the end with a lovely little play they had on the other side of the map, as we see from Erosos' POV. Really important 2-piece. Story and U-Jerks caught. That's going to kind of force them to go in toward B straight up. A boost on the railing of the stairs. Could work for something, but the spray doesn't connect. And that should mean that GamerLegion have something to work with here. It should secure a third. It's wild from Utiris as GamerLegion are locking them out right now.
Andu forced back by the Molotov. Flash briefly blinds him, but he's unafraid, unfettered to take these fights. He'll lose his head in the end. But surely enough done now, and it does become a different kind of mission for Materis here. Hoping to take some key guns away. Got a few players with utility left, right? Could be really big if he finds the right head. Meanwhile, only 35 seconds, so he does have to try and dig for them at the very least. No one overstretching, no one even trying to flank, right? Don't give this guy anything.
Yeah, they know how critical it is to win the round with 4 up. That's for sure. One of the things, of course, you brought up was how little GamerLegion have played this map. Of course, they lost in overtime against Aurora's Academy in CCT a couple of weeks ago. Played it against Illuminar a few months before that. And just a bit like Ancient, which is why we're speaking about it in the same breadth in a way. A bit like Ancient. It's just a situation where you haven't got the reps. And the reps is what you spoke about that are so important. And GamerLegion don't have many of those yet on a couple of these maps, right? I mean, you just look at their map pool as it is right now. They have their Inferno. They, of course, have a Mirage. But the worst part about this game against sAw is that sAw don't have a Mirage. So, it means that sAw will always ban it and will not give GamerLegion that chance to play it. And yeah, as soon as Anubis wasn't going to be played in this one either. Nuke, of course, removed by GamerLegion because even though they play it, they know sAw are so good on it. This leaves the veto in this state, and it did read as a sAw favoured veto. Maybe a 2-1, and that could be what we get today. Flamus will go aggressive once again, though, in the following round, mate, and that's actually another great piece to put into play, especially that it might mean sAw go looking elsewhere on the map, and the setup in mid is so well set up.
Roman was thinking about moving middle there, but going to do so in the end. Touchdown onto Andu here, and that's about the maximum that a damage is going to do. Slow encroachment towards the A ramp after feigning out B presence, and it is kind of working a little. Again, A continues to be weaker defended. Not a lot of ramp presence from GamerLegion in their style. That will become a problem later on. Flammus gets his contact smoke down, but grenade as well, closes the gap. 25 seconds, not a lot. Loses his head. The AWP with a quick shot. Hell yeah, Slend. The key old find. They think it's a bit more of a fake out here, but in fact it isn't. Theris brave to go through that smoke, but confident enough to get it down. Retake now in full swing.
Yeah, and they're going to choose to try and take heaven. That's that massive shadow advantage. But Roman doesn't know which angle to pre-fire first. Gets caught out by seeing two players in that position, and Volt then deals with Materis in the end. Story hops down, needs a quick scope though, and it's not going to happen for him. Big retake for GamerLegion, up to 4. Slight lead once again. Even with that plant for sAw, they're going to be on pistols and Kevlar in this next round.
Okay, this is tough. This is really quite tough. GamerLegion have managed to find their feet. It's not quite stable ground just yet. Still a bit shaky on the foundations, but it looks good. It looks promising. Roz Dosh will manage to find, okay, the first, and U-Jerks on the other side of the map has eliminated 2. I spoke too soon, I spoke too soon. The foundations, they've come crumbling down.
Can ZTR rebuild them? Materis coming in toward gap, but that smoke's going to be annoying. That's one thing sAw do need to be wary. If they have a lineup for that new elevator gap, sure, they're safe on this round, but they've been burnt by it once, and that lineup there, I'm pretty sure, still gives a CT an opportunity to jump on the corner of that installation. Is it on the floor there? I guess that's what it is. And have a little elevated angle over the corner of that smoke. So maybe something that for sAw to look at. That lineup seems to be giving CTs a bit of an opportunity there. But no worries, in this one at least. They're going to recover straight away. Mainly via the U-Jerks 2-piece. Back and forth. Staying even as ever. Amazos only has the Deagle, so he's going to try and search for something that's been lost by GamerLegion, but can't find anything, so he's going to have to buy the AK up straight up.
Timeout being taken here by GamerLegion, sir. It is a bit of a difficult one, actually, to work out economically, so do need some more time to talk that over, but also just need to bounce back fast. They know this one's going to be tough, and it is usually those T-sides, Trav, that need a bit more work, you know, that prove to be a challenge when it's not your most favorite map. CT side, you can kind of let it happen to you and react accordingly. Maybe indeed have a few proactive rounds up your sleeve. Meanwhile, every single T-side round, you have to be taking initiative.
Last time sAw played Vertigo, they did absolutely destroy Sashi a couple of weeks ago now, 2 or 3, in ESL Challenger League. It's a great sign for a map that can be a little bit up and down for them these days. Single flash from Volt there. Nice hold toward window. Volt's done everything in this round. The flash assist for B stairs and the mid-window hold. Story will respond, but they know he's dinked up. That's why they're trying to all face him at once. 3 players looking to force him out of the round. It very much is back and forth here, just not in the sort of force by war fashion. We've got past that place in the game already. And we're here. Going back and forth from 4-3, 4-4, 5-4. U-Jerks is up toward white box here, but he's going to have to get 2 kills.
He's begging, isn't he? You know, he really wants someone to peek him. It's not going to happen. He has to go into them. It's a bit early. Always got a couple flashes, my guy.
I know, I agree.
I know the round might not feel winnable, but you could have taken a couple with you. And it has been a very neck-and-neck kind of game. As it happens now, you probably have 4 CTs saving, and your AWP is under threat. Now we're after him. Oh. Oh. Oh.
I love it. This is perfect.
Oh, after time. After time.
This is so good.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is criminal, man. That is criminal. Oh, he's getting minimum money, you're getting maximum. Oh my goodness. Oof.
Love it. That's exactly what I wish teams did a lot more of, right? So many situations, they just take the kill, and it's like, you could have waited, guys. Like, it's so worth it for future rounds to limit the economy on one specific player. Story did still have 3,150 though, so I'm gonna keep an eye on how much he had before that, see how much that built up. So we'll see. So able to get 3 rifles out of this buy sAw with 2 Tech 9s, and as we know, the speedy rounds can sometimes be so difficult to deal with on CT Vertigo.
All right, what's the bounce back going to look like from sAw? They're starting to really, really struggle here. Swimming upstream. Amos with the flash. Oh, no! He's walked straight into him, but ZTR's got him covered. Will sacrifice his life for the privilege, and Flamus just does not respect how close they are. Really looks like an uncomfortable kind of map for him. Maybe a different site than he's used to. Getting caught off a fair amount, but the rest of the squad will hold the line. They all just go melting into the AWP there.
Yeah, that was a little bit worrying for a second, considering Slend missed that second shot, and then Volt only went 1 for 1. But thankfully he managed to stay alive enough for enough time to get Andu in to help. And now, so I'll have nothing. Now to play for the buy in round 12. Evened out the cash in the previous round to sure had something, but they're going to have to be hitting more shots like that. Roman is up already. Oh no, the Glock's got a kill. Oh, they're panicking. What's going on here? ZTR got some space, but he's going to have to get a fresh reload. How the Glock has got one, and that timing, push up toward ramp. Actually so shocked that Flamus got surprised by that. Thankfully ZTR is dealing with it nicely, but now down to 23, only a few bullets left. That M4 can now be retrieved. The other one's on the floor right in front of Materis. Arosdos will nab it, I'm sure of it, but he won't be allowed to. Andu is thankfully here on time. Now Materis has to clutch. 1v2, no armor, as I said. Trying to play that headshot angle. Has to swing into it though to maybe find the bomb. Pick it up and go for a plant. Not allowed! Andu makes sure he puts a bar on that round, and they can forget about it now because they've won it. Final round of the half, sAw. 5 is important.
It is, but this is, very quickly turned into a solid GamerLegion story where I think we were very, very worried for them from the get-go. A few pretty shaky rounds once the rifles came into play, but they have really recovered this. I want to say an early timeout, sort of round 5, round 6, and it seems to have made a big difference to the energy. But Sirius, first one to fall here. Aroz Tosh trying, failing to find a return frag.
Oh, you jerks. Find Flamus. Slender's fighting for his life in toward Gap, though. How he's still alive? Is he going to be allowed to retreat? That's unreal. Obviously, they have to be slightly concerned. They could be up onto the site already. That's why Slender's holding from Gap and not falling back to Elevator. They're surrounded right now. Roman will find Slender in the end, but ZTR Snake in the grass. They have absolutely no idea. Bit of a masterclass play that from ZTR. He drops the bomb near that elevator smoke. Arazos will find Volt, but now it's all you jerks. He hears ZTR. Not sure U-Jerks is entirely accounted for here. That's going to be a free kill. Bomb picked up, and he's expecting there to be a flanker. That is Andu, and he'd be right. So off toward B he goes. 1v1 to play out.
Digits being tapped in over on the other side. U-Jerk's got the run of the mill then. He's got so much time to gather information. I think he's got a good idea of where this man's coming from. He knows where the fight is going down. The cone gets in the way. And U-Jerk steals away number 5. GamerLegion, a great recovery from them. But sAw will really make it sore going into the second half. See you in a few.
One more half of Counter-Strike on the B stream today, and we've got a bit of a closer match, it looks like, between GamerLegion and sAw. First two maps were a little bit of a blowout, and now the pistol begins for sAw and GamerLegion to try and get that upper final slot, get a step closer to Atlanta. Lots of utility for GamerLegion on the pistol. 2 smokes, flash and a molly. The long-term plan is set.
Rozdosh ready to go. Oh, got to be careful with the fights you're taking here, fellas. That's exactly what he wants. So much damage done. In for 3. Denied the ace, but it was certainly just around the corner for him. He's done enough. ZTR flashed off and finished by U-Jerk. sAw will take the pistol, therefore. And this could be big. This could be absolutely massive for them. Denying the bomb plant away. Lots of kills coming in. Nobody going down. It's an immediate springboard into a really strong buy.
Yeah, so frustrating for GamerLegion that, you know, they have that utility bought up. They clearly have a long-term plan for it. And then they have to use the molly to remove Aristos from the cubby on the bottom of A ramp when he'd already done his kind of main damage anyway. He'd done his work. He basically won it out. Very annoying. But it is what it is. They're going to have to full eco, go for the AKs in the third. Use the weaponry advantage against swords by here. They're going to know they're going to have MP9s and FAMASs still. Of course, other games going on right now in this qualifier. I've got a few completed ones now, of course. The opening round, all done. Upper semi-finals, one of them done. Gun 5. What a qualifier they're having. They beat NIP in kind of insane fashion. And then they've beaten Sashi as well. 13-4 on map 2. Kind of destroyed them, to be honest. The EK will get eaten up in front of our very guys here as well. sAw with all 5 alive. And the lower bracket, Aurora actually have been taken to a third with Gen 1. Monty, NIP still going as well. Monty with the first map, NIP 9-3 up in map 2. So a lot to decide here for tomorrow's games. A couple of teams to be eliminated. A couple of teams going to be in that upper final. Gun 5 having themselves fantastic performance. And the upset team thus far, for sure.
Nade damage onto Andu. Not the best way to kick things off. The double stack here at mid as well. Looks good. ZDR and Volt going to go rolling in. Volt's got to get this straight now. And he does. Really well controlled there in the fight. Really big moment. Roman goes down on the other side of the map. It looks fantastic for GamerLegion.
Yeah, Rastos is going to have to try and recover something, but thought for a second he might push a bit further down, try and catch the timing and then wandering back toward A perhaps, but GamerLegion have a minute to go in this round and they've just got so much control across the map at the moment. They don't need to go hunting solo elsewhere anymore. They need to group up together and find what's next. And so far, I'll be delighted to find out that they'll discover nothing toward that B side of the map. Saw half gambled with both players toward A there for a split second. Are close enough toward B to do something here. They could still catch a couple of kills. Oh no, they have. Flamus and Andu are just wandering in towards CT. They pounce on Slend and Volt goes down. Oh no, GamerLegion. I see no reason to wander past Generator like that on that timing. And sAw met them with a vengeance.
Ouch. That is rough. That is very, very rough indeed. GamerLegion, a lot to deal with off of that one. I think you need a timeout to cool the situation. They don't take it. They just go take it in their stride, in fact. Continue moving to the next round. Story. Take some early taggage. Legion, though, need a clear old game plan here, of course. The half buy, but plenty of util.
It's going to be so painful for GamerLegion. I mean, like, sure, you could maybe class them ever so slightly unlucky to get caught from CT and window at exactly the same time. Could sAw had guessed A for a little bit. But then they come back and shift their way back just as GamerLegion shift their way in. But they shifted their way in too far. That's going to be one they're going to think back on, I think, if this best of 3 goes awry. It's a shame for them. And that gives sAw a wonderful opportunity to build up a bank on this CT side. Now they've already got quite a bit on you jerks. Pistols to face once again here.
Looking good. Kills roll around. Has that bomb made its way in? It has, but it's on the deck. Flamus. Cover it back. Can't really get too much done. He was trying to, you know, make some space for Volt, really. He was a little late to the party. Hoping that the bomb might eventually go down. Not going to be the case. Bomb in firm control here for the CT side. Side smoke goes down, but what's he really going to be able to do with it? A couple of players have revealed themselves. Roman will find the kill on the side, though. And there you are, sAw bagging a key round. It will be the buy back in for GamerLegion. They need this to keep the hopes of the upper bracket alive.
Yeah, and something we mentioned a little bit earlier, of course, as well, is the fact that they're in possibly the worst position in that upper semi-final, because they drop into the lower semi-final, which is the portion that Monty and NIP are in. Gun 5 causing havoc to this bracket. sAw or GamerLegion versus Monty or NIP. It's probably the four most well-known teams in this qualifier. It'll be pretty wild, and will be pretty wild, whatever happens. It's a guarantee at this point. U-Jerk's behind the smoke in gap. Molotov will force him wider. Still stay a little bit taller behind that fire, not wanting to fall back, and GamerLegion not expecting that. It's 2 for U-Jerks. Thankfully, the trade by Slend is a good one, considering it was through the edge of that smoke.
Rosdosh. Ready and waiting. The angle here. Wonderful angle, in fact. Good moment to pull it out. Gets the smoke down preemptively. He's in that flow, man. Looking really good. 18 kills for the young gun, and the B-bomb site kind of impenetrable because of him.
I feel like it's extra satisfying to see a professional player with the M4A4 look as good as that than it is compared to the A1S, you know? I don't know. It's just something a bit more brutal about the A4 that makes it... obviously, it's harder to control spray pattern-wise. We all know that, but... yeah, our Rosdos makes it look so good. And sadly, GamerLegion, they could have been... well, they could have had their balloon popped by that round where they pushed CT.
Alright, GamerLegion looking to recover themselves. And again, it has proven to be troublesome. Round starts off slow. One of the major issues I think this team has got, Trav,
Go
on this map, is just ramp. They really do not seem to have any ramp presence on either side. And yeah, not an area that they're fans of, not an area that they can make work. And it's... really, you need it in your repertoire. You know, you need it in the locker, to be honest. And I think it is proving a bit troublesome. They're potentially going to go for a ramp play here, but like quite a late one. Wait for all the early utility to come out and maybe just sort of contact in. Keep it simple, you know.
Indeed. Flamus. You should put yourself in a nice position here. And that's Flamus down already. The M4A4 trying to sing on him as well. The trades go thick and fast. Story still here. PT50 out. He knows that he's got information from his teammates that they're tagged up. Misses the instant headshot and spooks himself slightly. And then Volt will get caught by the Arosdos flank. So no worries for sAw. Back in the ascendancy. And as you say, GamerLegion struggling to find map control on the T side. Maybe is the main thing that's catching them off here.
Yeah, I was hopeful for a second, and then they lost that really big round, and well, all hope died with it. It looks like, it feels like, I don't know, problematic, mate. Very problematic here for GamerLegion, and we are starting to see some of the things that come in. Look, they're still on a rebuild, a revamp, how you want to call it, right? A few of these players only just been in for 3 months. They've got ZTR on 1. So it's fair that it is taking some time, and ZTR, of course, in the most important role, many might argue. Up top, not much he can really do. They are forced to drop back. Nothing coming out of mid.
Burst will join up with the rest of his teammates. GamerLegion trying to finally get this ramp take sorted. And they take it late round. They've still got enough late round util as well to go for something toward A. There's lots of counter positions here for sAw. They're all over the elevated position. 35 seconds left in this one. GamerLegion have to win this execute.
Andu, big frag, you jerks, nothing coming. Roman, however, out towards short, looking good, but it's Mutiris that keeps them in it. Still might not be enough. He just needed one more kill. Tiny bit of support could have made all the difference here. Rozdosh, V2. Tracking on good time here. sAw wins the fight. That was close. That was close. He was ready for a bit of a smoke play, just maybe not quite that fast.
I felt that one for a second there, considering the game he's had. Would have put the cherry on top for sAw and, well, knocked the cherry off for GamerLegion. Important round to take, though. If they're aware of the economy and the situation of how many players sAw have had alive in a couple of these rounds, they'll know if they win this one, they'll be limited. 11-9 could turn into 11-10. It's never over until it's over. Flammers trying to take initiative toward ramp straight away this time. Off the back of that, though, they go toward mid and they go into the worst setup they could have possibly gone into. Story gets a collateral. It's a dream hold for Story in that position. And he's now going to have to do it all himself.
Yeah, tough, mate. Very, very tough. No bomb. Snuffed out so quickly once again. Andu, you're going to get taken out. You jerks ready for that. It's unlucky. It is unlucky. I think sAw lose some of their 1v1s, sort of the 50-50 fights in the previous round. And that is really hard to consistently tap into for GamerLegion. There's just not a lot of control on this T side. And as I spoke about, it is T sides that suffer on maps that you're uncomfortable on. And that certainly seems to be the case here for GamerLegion.
They're not there yet. Young team. Young team. It's always the caveat that is a legitimate one. A long way to go for this 5 together. Progress and the wins they've managed to take are at least promising, and the RMR will be fascinating. See if they can make anything happen. Arasdas, ooh, okay. Nade will come through in the end to avenge him. But a good bit of a take, but Mutiris doing ever more. Mutiris does seem to have very good individual maps on Vertigo. Always has, even now. He's up to 17 alongside you jerks, and GamerLegion are 3v4.
Story? Oh my god. Just speaks to what's been happening here in these past few rounds, and that will lock it in, Travis. GamerLegion cannot match up. Just a few too many maps in there that sAw are able to abuse, and it really, really became Struggle City towards the end there. Very, very, very challenging until they picked up that one round, Trav. It was 6 in a row. So we're getting 8 out of 9 there